Welcome to RiverCity-Media. The guys from the Reckless Speculation Show will be joining us. But tonight we have a group effort all across our network. So we're not going to hesitate, but let's bring in Brandon Chain joining us from Reckless Speculation. How are you, Chain?
I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Great day in basketball.
And one of the happiest men on the network, along with me tonight, Robbie Davis, fellow Vol fan, SEC champion.
So 3 of the last 4 years, the Vols have been to the SEC championship and lost. And this year, they won the title, the tournament title, and with a dominant performance throughout the tournament. They only trailed by 1 minute and like 59 seconds the entire time. Look, they beat a really, really good, maybe favorite, at least top 3 or 4 favorite in the whole thing, Kentucky, and dominated the whole way through. I'm a Rick Barnes guy. I love the guy to death, and so
Shane wasn't he ready to fire him about midseason?
Yeah, I think so.
That's
how you Tennessee fans are, man.
Oh no, not me. No, there are a lot of Tennessee fans that were ready to fire him about midseason or after every regular season loss.
So while we discuss the SEC championship and the Tennessee Vols winning, I want to bring in a new member of the RiverCity-Media family. One of my coworkers, a recent moved from the Knoxville area, a member of the media in Knoxville at Fan Run Radio. That's 1348 AM, 105.7 WKGN. AJ Cook, are you with us?
Howdy.
Hey, AJ.
How about them balls?
Buddy? Man, they look good.
Balls, AJ?
Oh, dude, they rolled. God, that was fun to watch. The whole tournament.
So, is this so what seed are we projecting the Vols to get? I personally,
good question, Robbie. Good question. Let's start there. Let's start right there. All right. First of all, I want to ask one question. Then we'll go into the seeding. So I'm going to have to ride this tight horse on all the Bourbon Brothers tonight. First of all, let's ask this question. What does it mean to win the SEC title for the first time in your lifetime? Robbie, then AJ will ask you. And AJ, also recent graduate, I want your opinion on how you think the school will react to this. But let's start with Robbie.
Winning this tournament, which we have had great teams at over and over and over again and not seem to get it done. It's just that monkey off the back. And like, I was sitting there watching it being like, it's a weird feeling because it doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of things, but at the same time, it means everything for a Vols fan. So it's weird to think about like, hey, we just won the SEC tournament for the first time since 1979. And anything you do, if you haven't done it since 1979, is a big deal, I think. It's like, I guess it's just one of those things like, look, we being Tennessee, I'll try to be the sports broadcast thing, being like Tennessee, they are the premier program in basketball in the SEC right now. Like, they have been the best program over the last 5 years. Barnes is 10-7 against Kentucky. The amount of money Kentucky puts in to losing 7 out of 17 times, or 10 out of 7, horrible math. Sorry, I just messed that up.
Words are your thing. Stay with words.
Yeah, you get the point. Tennessee's the torchbearer of college basketball in the SEC right now.
Well, not that I'm celebrating this, but Memphis goes down 71-53.
Oh, they lost.
Hate you, Penny.
Good riddance, Penny. Good riddance.
Purdue goes down as well.
Purdue
Iowa.
goes
Purdue.
down.
Oh boy. So there's
Yeah.
some
That's
seed
going to make the
lines.
next subject a little more interesting. AJ, as you're in your late 20s, mid to late 20s, as a recent graduate at the University of Tennessee, what do you think this means on campus right now? Is it pandemonium reigning? Is this something students really look forward to, or is it just us old guys that were around last time in 1979 that care?
I mean, Robbie kind of touched on it for the building and for the coaching staff and the immediate vicinity around the program. It's huge. It's just kind of the big payoff, the recruiting that's kind of been building towards this moment. Obviously, all these great teams we've had since Barnes has been here. I mean, Schofield, Williams, just go down the list. There's been tons of great players here, and none of them could do what this team's managed to do. For the program, it's fantastic. For the fans, for students, this is vindication. Because you asked about when I was at UT, I was there for the end of the Conzo Martin era, the Donnie Tyndall era, if y'all haven't heard that name, in about 10, 15 years. Jesus. And then obviously the beginning of the Rick Barnes era. I'll just bring this back up. The Conzo Martin debacle, him leaving, going to Cal. I mean, that was a black eye for Tennessee fans everywhere. And fast forward to now, Rick Barnes wins the SEC championship the same weekend. Conzo Martin gets fired from Missouri. I mean, this is about as sweet as vindication can get, and you know, it's sweet. You asked if pandemonium's raining. It better be raining, because if I was up there this weekend, I'd be blacked out in the street somewhere. It'd be amazing.
Brendan, I know you are a Big Ten guy, but we had a show earlier in the month where I said this means as much to me as an Elite Eight. That's a long time to go without a title at a school like Tennessee.
It is. And I don't disagree with you. For you hard hat Vol fans that are, just through and through, I get what that means to you.
It's Pepsi, y'all. It's not. I haven't relapsed.
No, as an outsider looking at this team is special, man. I mean, they are special. They can really do something here. And I've said this on here for several weeks now. I mean, since they lost to Kentucky, they've gone 16 now, 17-2. I mean, this team is special. They're peaking at the right time. And yes, an SEC championship is nice, and for the hardcore fans, it feels really good. But you're not done yet. Like, this is a team that's going to go deep in the tournament, if not could potentially win it.
All right, let's get back to Robbie's question. I think it's very valid. Joe Lenardi currently said Tennessee was on the 3 line no matter what. In my opinion, with Purdue just losing, it ensures Tennessee's on the 2 line. Palm has Tennessee on the 2 line. Let's start with you, Robbie, and then we'll come with AJ. I really thought your argument that this is a 1-line team, Robbie, was pretty compelling earlier today. Where do you think it actually breaks out?
So what do I think they're going to do versus what they should do? So I think they're going to
happen, but I'd like you to recap your 1-line scenario.
Yeah, so I think they're going to put Tennessee at the number 8 overall seed. So the 2 seed in the West bracket, I think is what they're going to do. What they should do, and I don't know if you guys heard Joe Lenardi's comments just recently on ESPN, which made no freaking sense. He said,
"What an idiot!"
He said,
"What an idiot!
Tennessee's been behind Kentucky and Auburn all year, so they're going to stay behind them." What? They beat Kentucky twice. They beat Auburn. They beat Arizona. The losses to LSU, Kentucky, and Arkansas all have been revenged. They lost to Texas by 1, and they lost to Texas Tech by 1 or 2 in an
LSU
defensive match. And LSU, they beat LSU in Knoxville. Mm-hmm. And so what you're saying, guys, we beat Arizona at home. Like, how are we not the 1 line? Like, even today, Kentucky was 23-7. We're 24-7 or something like that. Like, and we're like, oh, Kentucky's playing for one line, but we're not. It's just this is just name brand, a television show, and quite frankly, the NCAA, for the little power you have left, maintain that power and get the best 4 teams on the one line.
All right, AJ. We've had this discussion all week. Where do you think Tennessee actually ends up, and where do you think they belong?
Are we allowed to cuss on here, or we got to keep it PG?
We got to stay PG today. We're on the newspaper side.
No one really knows.
All right. No, we'll find
They
out.
cuss all the time, but I have a lot of shows that get bleeped out.
Well, Joe Lenardi is a dumb donkey. How about that for our sensitive listeners here? It's incredible, man. That logic makes no sense. I don't know if you guys saw him say that live, but he was touching his face, wiping sweat from his brow. Like he was nervous saying it out loud. Just what an idiot. Tennessee's a 2 seed. There's no way around it. They're not a 3 seed. The 1 seed argument is fun. I agree that they are one of the top 4 to 5 teams in basketball right now. As far as a 1 seed goes, though, the stat nerd darlings Gonzaga are always going to be 1 seeds. Arizona and Kansas are probably the 2 best teams in basketball right now. The reigning champions going down in their conference tournament's a bad sign, but Baylor's good as well. Tennessee's right up there, man.
That's who's the 4th? Who's the 4th number 1? Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
Like Tennessee has the best resume of a conference champion right now.
Totally agree.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, that's a good argument.
All right, guys. I know we can talk about this.
Tricky.
AJ, stay with us for another round of questions because I want to get your opinion. We're about 15 minutes from bracket reveal, and I want to real fast. We've talked about Tennessee, where they rank up there, how you feel about them going into the tournament. I want to touch on 2 things real fast. 2-part questions coming around the table. Shane, we'll jump you in here, and we're going to bring our brother from the West Coast. And also, no, he's not here yet. I want to bring in another special guest, a very good friend of mine. Please let me introduce Mr. Roy Pankey.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How you doing, Roy?
How you guys doing?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Hey, man, I can't complain. Nothing to complain about.
That's right.
And Roy on, let's introduce everybody. Up to your right is Brandon Chain.
All right.
Robbie Davis to the left.
Okay.
And on the phone from the magic city of Knoxville. Actually, he's in Chattanooga right now, but we're pretending like he's in Knoxville. AJ Cook. Roy, I was just about to ask this question. We've talked about Tennessee. Who else is if you had to go out and say, I got $5, I'm going to put it on a team, who's your team right now?
Ooh, man, I almost have to agree with you guys. I think Kansas is somebody you really need to pay attention to, and also Gonzaga. But, man, I think Tennessee is man, I have to pick them right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
I tell you what, that makes me feel better about our chances. Robbie Davis, where are you going besides? Well, if you want to go to the Vols, you go to the Vols, but you got to give me somebody besides the Vols.
All right. I will just note, yes, Tennessee just ran through the SEC tournament without problems. But if I have to go with somebody non-Tennessee, this hurts, but I still like Kentucky. I think Kentucky's a really, really good team. And they lost to the Vols, and the Vols are a great team. Like, that's how stacked I think this league is. I like Kentucky or Gonzaga.
Brandon Chain, don't let your Big Ten bias cut us into you, but go ahead and give us your answer.
I don't have anyone out of the Big Ten. I really like Arizona. I think they're playing well right now. But like I said before, man, if I can get plus money on the Vols, I'm putting money on them because these guys are dangerous.
Everyone's making me nervous. We're gonna lose the first
I
round.
have said I've said this for several weeks now, and I am not a Vols fan by any means. But it's the eye test, and these guys are good. I mean, their defense is just phenomenal, and when they shoot the ball well, they're unstoppable. Like, they can beat anybody in the country. So, I mean, they can go small, they can go big. I mean, they can change it up. Guard plays fantastic. They're fast. I mean, it's a complete team. Barnes is a great coach. Like, what else do you want? Their resume is fantastic. I don't know what else you want.
Oh,
Making
no,
me nervous too.
This
AJ,
is gonna be a disaster.
AJ, please don't pick the Vols. AJ Cook, who have you got?
Vols by a million. They're cruising just like they cruise in the SEC tournament. They're not going to trail the entire time.
They're peaking at the right time, baby.
Vols all the way.
All right, AJ, if you want to jump back in, we're starting to break up with you just a little bit. If you want to jump back in after the tournament reveal, please feel free, man.
All right, we'll do.
All right. First of all, before we get to Roy, we were in the middle of a question. I want to introduce Roy a little bit. Roy, first of all, I want to plug, and I always get it wrong. So if I get it wrong, correct the names. Tennessee Elite and Tennessee Magic.
Tennessee Force Elite.
Force and Elite.
Tennessee Force Elite and Tennessee Magic.
All right. Force Elite and Magic.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about your program and what you offer up.
Well, what we do is, man, we have several travel teams that we offer just so kids can get playing time, because it's a fun game, and we don't do a lot of advertising as far as we're going to get you a scholarship, blah, blah. There's a lot of organizations, they'll do that. They'll tell kids, we're going to get you a scholarship if you come here. What we do is offer the kids a place to play, and a scholarship is just the icing on the cake. If you get in here, you work hard, and that happens for you, we're going to do everything we can to help you in that regard, but that's not our goal. Our goal is to produce great kids and the best players that we can, with being the best person you can be coming first. That's what we want to do. We don't turn the kid away. We don't cut kids because we feel like everybody has something to offer. We just want the opportunity for these kids to get out and experience, things that are going on that they otherwise may not have the opportunity to do.
That is awesome. And of course,
yeah, that's awesome.
You do a lot of work, and I mean, it seems like you got kids from all over, but you're originally from over in the Sequatchie Valley. Like,
Yep.
I'm at Sequatchie County during high school football, but
Right.
that program has meant a lot to that valley. Also, you're out of Dayton too.
Mm-hmm.
What is Power Up basketball? Is it something different?
Yeah, well, actually, they kind of work together. Power Up, I do basketball training as a career, and so that is actually our training part of it. And we also do youth leagues and that type of thing. That's for a kid that's interested in coming in, doing some personal training and our camps and clinics and that type of thing. We kind of work our travel ball out of that, but, we take a lot of kids out of the training program into that, but we do have kids that are on our travel team that don't participate in our training that we offer, but we also have kids that are participating in our training that don't do travel ball. So, it's just, just one of those things.
Yep, trying to help everybody.
Yeah.
I know it's hard for me to believe I actually come up with a guest that knows a little bit about sports.
Well,
but we did. And let me tell you what else Roy was back in my day. Roy's same age I am. Roy was a blacktop legend back in the day. But his cousin Phil will tell you he was better than Roy, but we won't get into that today.
Can't pay attention.
He looks a lot younger than you do.
He was better at fouling, Phil was.
Yeah, Phil played middle linebacker.
Yeah, he's a master fouler.
All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and bring Raj. Looks like he's showing up here. Let's bring from West Coast, Mr. Raj Meta. Raj.
Is that early for him?
It's a little early for you. You're only 20 minutes late. And we can't hear him.
Yeah.
So while he works on his sound, let's go around and do this. We're 10 minutes from the bracket reveal. You've sat around probably like me all day and watched basketball. I want to go around the table, and we've already talked about Tennessee. Who is if you have to make your number one seeds right now of what you've seen. Who are the 4 teams that you're putting on your number one line? Starting with you, Jane.
Gonzaga, Arizona, Kansas, and UT.
Robbie.
Exact same.
Mr. Roy Pankey.
Man, I have to agree with him.
Yeah.
I have to agree with that. Yeah.
So we all seem to be in the agreement, but yet the committee probably won't follow that.
Probably not.
Hold on.
I think it's going
Rod.
to – I think if they did, I think it would cause a massive restructuring of the conference or the divisions or whatever, and I think they're trying to avoid that.
Yeah, like I've seen projections where it's been Kansas and Baylor, both number ones. That's just not accurate.
No.
That just can't be. Like the Big 12 is not head and shoulders above the other leagues, and Baylor lost the first game they played in the tournament. Like there has to be consequences for these tournaments, or if not, then why have them?
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Raj Mehta, can you join us now?
That's
Thank
open
God.
to interpretation. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can hear you now finally.
I'm a little worn out, and I guess I'm just so excited. No, for real, I'm super excited, man. I was listening as much as I could, but yeah, if anybody notices my name, it's Riggs. I'm too old for this ship because I got it after it a little too much this weekend, and I'm dying. But enough about me. I'm excited. I'm sure we did first four. We're talking about ones right now. First of all, I was surprised at Arizona without Creasa. They dominated, and they were so athletic.
Mhm.
They were just flying. That dude Terry took off from just in front of the free throw line. But back to the ones, Gonzaga, Arizona. I don't have Kentucky.
Yeah.
That's tough because the Baylor and Kansas thing. I mean, are we arguing for Tennessee or the same I mean, I wouldn't have Houston, that's for sure. What was the consensus? Gonzaga, Arizona. Is Kentucky
Kansas,
still
Tennessee.
a one?
No.
Kansas, Tennessee.
Kansas, Tennessee.
I mean, that's a big jump for Tennessee to go from a 3 lock to a 1, but I said it before. If you win the toughest conference in America and you do so the way they did, I think you're a 1.
Hey, side note, does Lloyd's coaching job now make Mark Few's coaching tree the coaching tree that everyone starts to branch out of? Because you got a lot of openings out there in big name programs. And what Lloyd did at Arizona, taking them from a mess to the conference champs in the Pac-12, that was a hell of a coaching job.
It was.
And it wasn't just style of playing scheme. It was also the approach to the program that Mark Few had. He's rebuilding right away. And, this isn't Duke with, 5 stars every year in turnover. This is just a different program now. And absolutely, they dominated, aside from Tennessee, of course.
Before we get into the actual bracket announcement, we're going to let Shane announce the bracket so everybody's not all over the place. So as a bracket drops, we'll let Brandon read them off, and then we'll go around the table and kind of get our opinions of it. But Raj, I want to start. Roy, I'm coming to you for the first answer on this. Right now, we have the first 4 out by ESPN: Wyoming, SMU, Xavier, Oklahoma. They currently have Texas A&M, Rutgers, Notre Dame, Michigan as the last 4 in. If you could swap that, is there anybody you would move from out to in, Roy?
I don't think so, and it's going to be difficult for that to happen since Richmond beat Davidson today. Davidson is going to get a bid there. That mid-major thing right there. But Davidson's going to get a bid with 27, 28 wins. It's going to be hard for any of those four on the bubble right there or out. It's going to be hard for any of those guys to get in.
One of them's out for sure after Richmond busted the bubble. The one I have and Raj, I'll come to you because you had a pretty good opinion of this. The one I have the most heartache with being in is Michigan. Is that just my hate for Michigan, or is it a real case that Oklahoma, Xavier, SMU, or Wyoming are to be in over Michigan?
I think this is another case that, the first four out are just, I don't think it's as close as usual. Usually there's, on the bubble, there's 5, 6, 7 teams that could get in. I'm not a big fan of Notre Dame, but they did beat Kentucky and UNC at home. I just don't see a great team aside from that freshman point guard, Wesley, I think his name is. If it was going to be anyone, it would be Michigan. I suppose they have quality wins, primarily in the Big Ten. Ken Palm has them at what, Robbie? 33, despite being 17 and 14. I mean, that's the question. On record alone, does this team belong in? If they were 17 and 14, I mean, is it because of the Big Ten or Big 12? Oh, sorry, Big 10 that they're benefiting? Because wouldn't this be the lowest amount of wins ever for a Power 5 to get in? 17 and 14, like worst record or something like that?
Yeah, Michigan is 33 on Ken Palm, which the 38 best teams get in after the conference is like automatic bids. That was my pet peeve too. Like, I don't know who the next 4 out were, who you said, but Michigan just me doesn't belong. They just on the eye test.
Yeah, I agree.
Hold on, let me bring Mr. Pankey back in here. We dropped him. Roy, I think we dropped you for a second. Welcome back in.
All right, good to be back.
All right, go ahead. Continue that conversation. I'm sorry. Michigan, lowest ranked.
I was just going to say, I mean, I like SMU over Michigan personally, but, what has Michigan really done? I mean, they lost the first round of the Big Ten too, so I don't know. Not a big fan of them, obviously.
Hey, with this many people on here, if you go on mute, I will unmute you when I ask you a question because we're getting a lot of background. All right, so I want to go through real fast. Tournaments looks like dropping now. As it drops, Roy and Raj. Roy, I know you are a Florida State football fan. I assume an ACC basketball fan. What's the case for the ACC this year? Is it just the weakest Power 5 conference?
I think maybe so, but there's a lot of parity in that conference also. I mean, if we want to use that word, but I don't. They're nowhere near as strong as they normally are, and I'm really disappointed in Duke. I thought with this being Coach K's last year that they would find a little bit more. I know they're having what most people would consider a good season, but I expected them to go through the ACC tournament since they didn't finish the regular season, didn't finish against North Carolina at the end. I thought that they would be playing more for him, this kind of storybook thing. And it hasn't unfolded, but I'm going to tell you what, everybody had better watch out for Virginia Tech. That's not a team that just got hot, man. I think they've won 13 out of their last 15.
Yeah.
And man, they play both ends. They got shooters. And it seems like they're just putting things together right now. So I think that's a team that could be on the rise that just didn't have a great start to the season. But the ACC overall, I think a lot of the teams are just close in talent. But I do think that they're weaker than they normally are.
Raj, go out West Coast, grab the Pac-12 real fast. Tell us what your Pac-12 somehow I lost him again. Your Pac-12 take is?
It's very top heavy. I think only 3 teams could get in. If there's a fourth, it would be Colorado, who on Ken Palm is actually higher than USC, who swept them. Colorado State is up there. That's a team to watch out for. I believe Colorado. Rob, where's Colorado on Ken Palm?
I will look right now. Colorado.
I guess they're further down.
We got the West region dropping right now.
Oh, shit.
Y'all wanna...
Let's go to that.
Yeah, let's go. Breaking
70
news,
on
West
Ken Palm.
region.
So we've got Gonzaga, Gonzaga 1, Georgia State 16, Boise State 8, Memphis 9.
Oh, that Memphis Gonzaga game. All right. Antenna alert. That's gonna be money.
All right,
Then-
let's get through them.
We got UConn as a 5. The 12's coming up. New Mexico State.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
In the 5-12.
I cannot. I'm so excited.
All right,
I
Robbie.
love this tournament so much.
Then we
All
got
right, Robbie, you're the first one.
Arkansas.
You got
Arkansas
an
number
upset brewing
4.
there. Where you at?
We got one more coming. 13, Vermont. Arkansas, Vermont, last 2. All right, Robbie, go ahead.
I don't even. What were we talking about?
Just the
Memphis
West
Gonzaga.
region.
You started rubbing your hands.
That's the top half
I'm
of the
just
bracket.
excited about this tournament in general, but Memphis is a 9.
Ooh.
They are so dangerous. They've got so much talent, and
Here's-
them against Gonzaga is such the just storyline of white
Oh,
kids versus the black kids, and it's gonna be awesome.
All right, let's go back to chain.
Let's
The
see.
bottom half.
We're looking at Alabama, and then we're Rutgers or Notre Dame. I think the Rutgers just got it.
They're the first 4 in Dayton on Tuesday.
Yeah. So
This is the week I don't do. I blocked my calendar off. I'm going to the casino on Thursday morning. Like there's nothing getting done this week at all. So Randall, don't have a child custody dispute because I'm out of the office officially.
All right. So Roy, out west with that bracket, do you see the Memphis Gonzaga? I found it interesting where UConn was seated out west.
didn't Memphis just lost
Yeah, it is
today?
They,
Yeah.
I was out for a big part of this when you guys were announcing it. Something happened there, but anyway, Gonzaga and Memphis potentially meeting. I mean, that's a wow.
Yeah,
I love that, man.
And Gonzaga's the number 1 overall seed, and they gave them potentially Memphis in the second round. That's no favors to them at all.
No, it's dangerous.
That's no
don't
favor
sleep
at all.
on
But let me ask
Boise
you guys
State.
this. Can I
Boise
ask a
State is
question?
legit.
Boise State, me.
Way better coach team and discipline than Memphis.
Well,
All right.
that is
Got a
true.
couple.
But Memphis is good more time. The Davidson's in.
All right, Rod,
gotta-
what was
yeah.
your point about Boise State and where they're seated?
Yeah, I mean, we're all talking about a foregone conclusion that Memphis is going to face Gonzaga in the second round of 32. I mean, again, Boise State is one of those Mountain West teams, extremely well disciplined, low turnovers. They play hard. The Mountain West this year had 2 other teams in Colorado State and San Diego State that were legit. I could easily see Boise State winning this game. I know we'd love to see, lottery picks go against each other in Gonzaga and Memphis, but I can easily see Boise State winning this game.
All right, real quick, guys. I want to ask a question. I don't know how I keep knocking him off. Out west, Gonzaga, the number 1 seed. Is it a clear number 1? Because
Watch out for Texas Tech too, man. I'm gonna tell you, they're the number 3 seed.
Roy, I don't know how I keep knocking you off. I'm going to move you in the stream here. Every time I push a
Yeah, that's
button,
fine.
somehow I knock you off. Now I just want to knock myself off. Brandon, do you have that West bracket in front of you now where you can read it all off front to top?
Not the full. I got the bottom half right now. I'm watching it live. So we had Alabama, Rutgers, Notre Dame playing game. Texas Tech, well, just clicked off. So yeah,
I think Alabama as a 6th seed is extremely dangerous. While they haven't played well lately, that bottom of that bracket, Michigan State, Duke, Alabama, they are all well coached and very dangerous. That's gonna be an interesting bracket to watch.
I like Texas Tech.
Yeah,
bottom half
Texas
bracket,
Tech.
too.
Texas Tech is dangerous. Like that
Yeah.
whole bracket. I love that bottom of that bracket.
Yeah.
I think Memphis, Texas Tech is my early prediction.
All right, we got a comment here. I'm gonna go off screen so that you don't hear my voice, because I think I'm knocking everybody off. So you'll just hear my voice for a little while, and y'all will be the focus. But I'm still here with you in voice. All right, guys, real quick. And I'm looking at the screen. Alabama gets shipped out west. Is anybody surprised by that?
Not really. I mean, they did. I mean, they've got talent. They've got a good scheme, but result-wise, their biggest win is over Tennessee at home without Chandler and Fulkerson because COVID. They really haven't done much. I mean, I guess they beat Kansas, I think. I mean, they beat Gonzaga, maybe one of those two powerhouses. But overall, they've just been while they're dangerous. But no, I mean, 6th seed out west. I get that.
Yeah. They played well early, but they're not peaking like some of these other teams are right now.
I want to real quick, while we're waiting on this other bracket to come up, where do you think UTC lands tonight, and what is the number? Could they end up in a 12 play-in game? Because I think that would be a great injustice to that team. Roy, the Mocs, what's your tournament outlook for them?
I would hate, being an alumni from there, I hate to say it, man, but I don't think that they get too high. I think it's very possible that they could be in the playing game because, they don't regard the Southern Conference as being, it's one of the lower conferences in mid-majors. That's how they look at the Southern Conference. And I'm afraid that they're probably going to be down there.
Robbie, where do you think the Mocs land? 11, 12, 13?
Yeah, I don't remember the Southern Conference getting in that play-in game bracket, so I don't think they're going to be in there. I think they're going to be a 13, 14 seed, so they'll be squarely in the tournament, but I think it's going to be a bad matchup. So I look at them for the 13, 14 seed, and I'm one of those that the play-in game, it's fun for gambling, but the tournament starts on Thursday.
Raj, who is the one team that you would like to see the Mocs as a 13 or 14 matched up against? And you are on mute. Let me unmute you.
Am I unmuted?
Yeah, you're
Hey,
unmuted.
We just started Arizona being one. Quickly, they're going to be a 13, I think. They have tons of talent this year. A 5-star kid that, D'Souza, on paper, there's a lot of storyline to this. And then you had last Monday, easily the biggest one. We're in the South now. I think they'll get a 4 that they can beat. But
all right,
let's go on to the South.
Brandon, it's all you, buddy. We're going to stay quiet while you read the bracket as it comes out.
No, I just called Arizona 1 seed. Then we got the play-in Wright State and Bryant facing Arizona right now as a 16.
Oh, wow. Wright State. I was shocked by that. I'm really shocked by that.
They had a big win there at the end too. So Seton Hall, number 8, coming on number 9 here.
Roy, Wright State, Trey Holland, one of the finer players in the country that nobody's ever heard about.
He balled out.
Yep. Trey Holland, Robbie, one of the finer players in the country.
So I'm interested to see the 9 seed here because
TCU.
So
yeah,
Arizona,
they worked their way in.
Arizona has the easier path than Gonzaga does to the Sweet 16.
Absolutely.
Yep.
100%.
No
Because
doubt.
Boise and Memphis are tougher than those two teams.
For sure. 100%.
They got Duke, Alabama, a lot of contrasting styles.
Yeah.
The committee did them no favors. Texas Tech, they're thumpers. That
We
doesn't
got
seem like the number one
Houston
overall
down
to
there
me.
yeah, Houston and UAB.
With
That's a
5
5 and
for
12.
Houston. Not a lot of love there. number 5 in Ken Palm. It's Houston, and they're a 5 seed.
Yeah, that. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the Houston.
Houston's number 4 in Ken Palm. They're a 5 seed overall in one. That's crazy.
Chattanooga.
Illinois and Chattanooga Mocs.
Who did the Mocs drag?
Illinois.
What's their seed? I just
13.
So they're a 15 seed.
So,
13
in comparison,
so 4
right
and
here,
13.
so look at this bracket.
You're welcome.
Houston's number 4 overall in Ken Palm, a 5 seed. Illinois is 17 in Ken Palm and
I know 4 seed.
4 seed. What?
Let me before we go
respect for
around
him.
and talk about that. Houston had how many quad wins? I think
Not
today
many.
was their first quad 1 win. They'd lost to both Memphis and SMU. I don't know. I'm not a believer in that Houston team. Let's just start there. You're saying Illinois over Houston. I think I would have went that way. Raj, Illinois over Houston.
Yeah.
So
Houston on
Michigan's
paper.
not in the last 4 in.
Yeah, Michigan's 11.
There's no respect for the AAC. They don't have a lot of quality wins, obviously.
Oh my
They're
God.
talented, but yeah, they're number 5 Ken Palm, and they were just put as a 5 seed, which basically puts them around the top 20.
Tennessee on the
Are you
3
kidding
seed
me?
Ooh, they did not get a 2 or a 1
against Longwood. Wow.
Ooh,
Tennessee on the 3. Are you kidding me?
Longwood
With
is
that
not-
resume?
So
Got
they're
some
going to give
big dudes.
Auburn and Kentucky better seeds than Tennessee, who just
Beat both of them. Yeah.
Who's the one in Tennessee's region now?
Arizona. And then we got Ohio State at 7. Let's see who's the 10 seed here.
I lost Roy again. I think his internet's coming in.
Oh.
And out.
I love Michigan and Colorado State being the 6-11, but that's just bull blank.
7-10. Loyola, Chicago, Ohio State.
Can we cuss on this show, Randall?
No, you can't.
No. Y'all go ahead and finish reading them out. I'll be right back.
I'm behind.
So Villanova's the 2. This is unbelievable. Tennessee's 7 in Ken Palm, and then Delaware's 15. Okay. Unbelievable. I like Tennessee's path to the Final Four, though. I mean, I like that.
Yeah, they gave them a nice path for sure.
Yeah, it's weird a 3 seed though. I mean, but so
they get
Tennessee and
cute.
Villanova
That's a second
played
best
already.
drive. It's the committee getting cute.
Yeah, yeah. So
They gave them
far,
a way nicer pass.
Well, I'm not sure what they're like. The whole Ken Palm, Illinois, the Houston, Illinois thing. Like what?
Ken Palm is not determinative.
I know it's not determined, but it's statistically driven.
Depending on the way it's framed.
So Joe
their
Lenardi was
formula
right the whole
algorithm.
time that we did not want him to be right.
I don't understand how you give Kentucky a 2 seed.
All right, hold on just a minute. Let's go. Roy, Tennessee pulls a 11 or a 3 seed, and we were talking about Illinois over Houston. Tennessee's a 3 seed.
Wow.
What's your gut reaction?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, that's you talk about injustice. That is definitely injustice. Wow,
It's unbelievable.
it is. That's incredible. I can't believe that.
They're 7 in Ken Palm. They just won the SEC tournament. They beat Arizona, a number 1 seed. I've gone through it a ton of times, but that's just ridiculous.
Right. 2 really good wins over Kentucky also. And
Yeah.
Man.
Basically, they're saying that SEC tournament didn't matter because they were a 3 coming in. they just won the SEC championship, and they didn't
You're
move
right.
at all. That is
You're
surprise.
completely right.
But I think that's a much better road as the 3 than the 2, the 4. Yeah, I mean, they sure have the layout of a 2, the path of a 2.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
just
hold
a number.
on, guys. You keep saying what is the path then? So lay it out. Where would they go to come through from a 3? They opened up with Longwood. Then who is the 6 in that region?
Colorado State, Michigan, which in terms of styles, I think Tennessee matches up great.
Yeah.
Who is the 2?
Villanova, who they've already played. Villanova beat Tennessee, which I don't like that dynamic either. But I mean, it was one of those bad Tennessee games where they didn't shoot well. It could very well happen again. But already discussed it with the committee.
All right, I got a question to go around. Michigan gets in at 11. Is that? I mean, what gives them a 11 resume?
Nothing.
Roy,
well,
what do you think? And then Roger, I'll come to you.
I'm really surprised that they got in at all, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Especially all that went on there, and I mean, you know, I figured I figured they were done. Maybe NIT. That's what I was thinking.
No, and no head coach.
Right.
I don't know. Are they going
He
to
comes back though. He'll be back. But
yeah.
Roger,
And the backup.
is Michigan 11 or Tennessee 3 you're socking so far?
No, because again, Tennessee being at 3, that's just a number. Their path is better than the 2, the 4. Yeah, I mean, the committee gets cute all the time. You know, in the last bracket, Duke being the 2, Banchero, Holmgren and Gonzaga being the 1. You know, Texas Tech contrasting styles, and in this one, you know, you see. Again, I don't find it shocking. If you look at Michigan, obviously the committee valued the Big Ten a lot. You know, they have 7 top 50 wins, quad 1. They did beat Purdue, who won their league today, Indiana, San Diego State, who got 2nd, Iowa, who won their league. No, Purdue didn't win. Iowa won, sorry.
Yes.
Rutgers, Michigan State, and Ohio State. So most of those are in conference, but yeah, that's 7 teams in the top 50. So they obviously emphasize that. Looks like they weren't penalized for losing their coach and all that stuff. They had injuries too. So I think it's more of the committee doing what the committee does.
All right. So far, we've seen who on the 1 line? Gonzaga and Arizona. So are we going to Chicago? Or are we going to see Duke? Is the committee going to fulfill Coach K's wish?
If Duke gets 1 line,
Kansas just got pulled on the 1.
What region is that?
1 second.
That's the Chicago region.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll bet money Duke's the 2 in this
Duke's
region.
typing so much.
Duke's the
Midwest.
2 in the West.
Duke's
Yeah,
already
this
been
is the
in the
Midwest.
Okay.
No, Duke's in the West as the 2.
All right. I did not hear that.
Yeah, it's Kansas, the number 1. Then we got Texas Southern, Texas A&M playing.
Texas A&M is in.
No. Texas A&M CC, Corpus Christi.
Oh, sorry. San Diego State.
Bracket. All he's got to do, he's got 1 job.
I know. I missed that part. Creighton, San Diego State 8, Creighton 9.
So that's a good matchup. Creighton and San Diego State.
Yep. Iowa gets the 5 seed.
Randall, is that you typing so hard?
No, I've got too many people on the feed.
Oh.
That's Roy's. That's the reason it keeps coming in and
Roy's.
out. I don't even have a keyboard, dude. Look.
Oh. Iowa's 5 seed.
Yeah, we got Iowa and
when
Richmond.
2 people start
on the
talking, we're
12.
going to get feedback. So you got to be really super careful, guys. Do not talk over each other because it's feeding back really bad.
Ooh, I like Richmond to beat Iowa.
That's a high seed, dude. Richmond,
Number
team that
12
snuck
seed.
in. Yeah.
Providence on the 4 seed.
Team that didn't close well, but that was really high for a while, although Ken Palm
Yeah.
didn't love them.
Oh man, this is gonna make a great tournament.
South
Ooh.
Dakota State.
Watch out.
I like that team a lot.
Watch
South
What-
out.
Dakota State.
What do you think of the Creighton matchup? Who was the Creighton matchup?
San Diego State.
Creighton, San Diego State. Give me your gut feeling. Go around real fast. Robbie.
Sandy. Oh, that's a tough. My gut is Creighton, but San Diego State's a good team. Oh, LSU and all kinds of turmoil at 6. I wonder who's the 11 seed there.
Iowa State.
Oh,
Ooh, yeah, give me the upset
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Roy, what'd you hear for an upset there? You like Creighton?
I like Creighton. I like Creighton.
San Diego State?
I'll take State. Yeah. Contrasting styles again.
Yeah, very
Wisconsin.
contrasting styles. All right, Brandon, what's the rest of that bracket?
We've got Wisconsin coming in at 3, waiting on the 14. Colgate, 14 seed. So I like Wisconsin.
I
over
think
Colgate
Wisconsin marches to the Sweet 16. That's a great
Yeah.
draw for them.
there. Yeah, I think so. LSU. I like Iowa State over LSU, and then I like Wisconsin over Iowa State there.
Yeah. Unless LSU gets just
Yeah, there's
counted, but
little USC love at number 7.
ooh, that's a
So, but-
dangerous 7. That's a dangerous 7.
We were seeing 6.
Miami. Oh, you got Miami. That's a tough draw right there. Miami's.
They're tough. Not a lot
Yeah,
of
they're
love
a
for
tough
SC
team.
either. It's not a total injustice, but it's scheduled.
I was thinking they were going to be higher than a 7 seed, though. Just
So everything I
6
read,
was what we
Raj,
saw mainly.
Roger, while this is coming out, it seems the Pac-12, off of their great performance last year, is not getting the respect I thought.
Auburn gets the 2 seed.
so we can't
No,
cuss in the show.
No.
Except for Arizona.
This is
Auburn loses the 1. They are now at 2 and a 15 against Jacksonville
Auburn
State.
is
Jacksonville
5-4 in their last 9 games, and they just got a 2 seed.
Hmm.
Hey, Auburn won't make the Sweet 16. USC or Miami's beating them.
I agree.
Yeah,
Totally agree.
USC's a big team as well.
yeah.
So it'd be an interesting matchup, but Miami.
All right, lay that
Scares
bracket
me.
out for us real fast.
We got Kansas playing game, Texas Southern, Texas A&M, CC, San Diego State, Creighton, Iowa, Richmond, Providence, South Dakota State, and I don't have the. Here's the bottom out. LSU,
Hey,
Iowa State.
Raj, this bracket, if USC gets hot, they can win it.
Yeah.
This is not a tough bracket.
LSU, Iowa State, Wisconsin, Colgate, USC, Miami, Auburn, Jacksonville State.
This is the weakest bracket so far.
No
I
doubt.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Miami is a tough team. I think they got hot
Yeah.
late, even though the
Yeah,
ACC.
I think that first round game's the hardest until you get to Wisconsin.
The path is there. Even though they're 7, I think they have the path of a 6 or a 5, really.
Yeah.
But a lot of quad 1 wins, a lot of but really not the top. 2 losses to Stanford, who kind of show that they can play. Just bad matchups for SC. Swept Colorado, beat UCLA, beat San Diego State. But in the end, it wasn't enough. They lost a game at Oklahoma State to COVID. I'm not stoked on Miami, but USC is the more talented team. Ironically enough, Miami's got Charlie Moore, who little dude point guard who started out at Cal. So he used to play USC like 6 years ago. He's transferred 3 or 4 times. He's now Miami's point guard. So that will be very interesting. And if USC has a weak spot right now, it's point.
So we switched Roy over to audio to see if he could hold better signal. Roy, while we've got you here, let's talk about that Kansas team that you like so much.
Okay.
What do you like about Kansas?
Man, I think Kansas is just extremely well coached. They've got great talent, and this is usually this is their time of the year. I think that they're one of the 3 or 4 teams I would pick to win it all. To be honest with you.
All right.
If I had that many
Of the number ones, do you list them second behind Gonzaga, or do you still have would you have Arizona 2?
Man, it's a great question, but I think I would take Kansas. I know it might seem a little silly, but I think I would take Kansas.
All right, Raj, you have Arizona over Kansas?
Yes, absolutely. Now Kansas can easily win a lot. You know, they have a guy that you can put he can put the team on their back in Obaji. They're much deeper and healthier than last year. But I think Arizona overall is better. But losing Krisa again, the guy who makes the show go, that's tough. But yeah, it looks like Baylor. Is Baylor going to get the other? Are there going to be 2 Big 12 ones? It sure looks like it.
All right, Robbie, you seem completely disgusted with the committee up to this point.
Well, yeah, I mean, they just aren't making any sense. Like, what is valued, really? And I mean, just, yeah, I guess that's an open-ended question. What is valued and what are they looking at? Michigan's in, not a play-in game, nothing. Like, what have they done? And then you look at a team like Auburn's a 2 seed. They went 5-4 in the last 9 games. Like, it's not momentum. I'm just confused on what they're doing.
Brendan, as a Big Ten guy, I think my gut reaction is the Big Ten's been seeded very well.
Yeah, I don't see. I think Michigan's overseeded for sure. Like to Robbie's point, what have they really done? I mean, they came on us late, had some good wins, but I don't know. I don't like this Michigan team. They're having a lot of trouble behind the scenes, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, Baylor does get the number 1, the 4th here in the East region, but I do like Arizona as the second number 1. I mean, I'm a fan of them. I've been a fan of them most of the year. They play well. They're fast, good defense, pretty complete team. So I look for them to go deep in the tournament as well. Norfolk State.
So to me, why is Baylor a 1 seed if Kentucky's not? Like, Kentucky at least lost to a top 10 team. Like, I don't get any of this.
I think they value conferences big time this year, and the Big 12 obviously got a lot of love, and the Big 10 as well. And I guess they're saying the SEC is not as competitive, which I would disagree. But
yeah,
obviously they're not valuing the SEC as much as they're valuing the other 2 conferences.
Roy,
by the way, we're in the 8-9.
Like Marquette safely in at being 19 and 12. Come on.
If you're going to rank the conferences, would you have the Big 12, Big 10, SEC in that order around the table?
I'd probably go Big 12, but that's just me.
Big 12, SEC, you can flip those whenever you want. In Big 10 after that.
Wyoming gets in. Whew. In a play-in. That's the 11 or the 12 plan.
Oh, Indiana's the first 4 in, or the last 4 in, I guess.
Yeah, and Wyoming was supposed to be first 4 out, according to bracketology. Lenardi. Woo. So that's another bid. Possibly stolen.
There's UCLA.
Indiana getting a 12.
4.
Oh. Very dangerous team.
Yeah. Ooh, UCLA sitting. I like that draw for UCLA.
UCLA,
yeah, there's
Akron.
UCLA, St. Mary's looking at second round. Those are crazy jump shooting teams. Both of them. That'll be. I'll take the over already.
Texas gets the 6 against Virginia Tech. Ooh, I like Virginia Tech there.
Tech getting an 11. Ooh.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
a tough
Hold
11,
on.
man.
I'm going to go to Roy real fast. He's having trouble with signal. I'm going to get his final comments, and then we'll come back and we'll do the last 30-minute wrap up. So hold on just a second. Roy, I know you're having all kinds of signal trouble. I do want to get your final thoughts, and then we'll work through everybody else. But while we got some signal, going through what if you're going to pick me a tournament favorite out of what you've heard so far, who would be your tournament favorite? And sorry you've had so many signal troubles.
No worries, man. Just happy to be here. But I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going with Gonzaga to win it all.
Ooh.
I think there's a few teams that could, but I'm picking the Zags to win it all.
Give me one team that we're not going to. Everybody else is going to talk about that you're scared of in the tournament.
That I'm scared to play?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's Texas Tech. Who's your team you don't want to see?
Virginia Tech.
Ooh.
I think Virginia Tech. Yeah.
Kentucky's gonna get the 2
San
seed.
Fran.
So, real fast, Roy, could you plug your stuff one more time? And we thank you for joining us. And sorry about the signal issues.
No problem. It's nice to meet you guys. And hopefully I'll be back soon.
Thanks, Roy.
Yeah, come back.
Yeah, thanks
Absolutely.
for coming on, man.
Thanks,
All right,
Roy.
now.
And I'm sure you'll be a regular around here now. We'll figure out what your signal issue is. And we appreciate you joining us.
I can't believe this.
All right. You guys see ya.
Kentucky gets a 2.
This
Thank
is
you, buddy.
unbelievable.
How does that happen? Oh, man.
Hey, unfortunately, we didn't have much signal, but Roy was texting me some stuff. I think his outrage was on. I don't think. All right, Robbie. I don't think I entered this thinking that Kentucky wouldn't be a 2. Does it really? Does the SEC tournament even matter to the tournament? To the tourney?
No. Does the season matter? Like Tennessee beat Kentucky in the season and the tournament. Like, does it matter? Tennessee has there is no look at the resumes. There is
Road
no
wins seem to be valued highly as well.
Oh yeah, but look at Kentucky. There's no objective way. I'm sorry, you played 3 times. One team won 2, one team won 1. You can't be higher than them. This.
It's like going back to the BCS days.
And I am so much
Program.
This is a television show, and I know it. And they want Kentucky and Indianapolis and blah blah
Michigan,
blah.
all these big names. Yeah.
Well, then let's just say that's what it is. This, and you know what? I don't mind Tennessee's draw. I don't. But this is just ridiculous.
A&M did not get in. That's their replacement number 4. So in the first 4 out, they were valued as the lowest 4, as the 4th option, if you will, behind Dayton, Oklahoma, SMU, and then A&M.
Wait, did I miss it? Where was Arkansas seated?
They were a 4 seed, but A&M did not make the tourney. They were the 4th.
They should have got in over Michigan for sure.
Which is crazy.
This is the worst. This is the first year we've broken down the bracket. It's the worst year we ever had a bracket.
All right, guys. Everybody, take a break. We got about 30 more minutes. Let's everybody pull up the bracket and let's get through this real fast. I figured out what was happening with Roy. He's not able to join us for the last 30 minutes, but it was nice to hear from him. Let's get through each one of the brackets real fast and recap. Where do you want to start at, Robbie?
Well, Rutgers is in at a 77 net rank, and A&M's out at 42. Oklahoma's got this whole thing is a disaster. Like they completely botched all this, and like usually and this is not me being like, oh, they always F it up, but I think this year they did. And this the whole bracket is wacky to me, and yeah, I'll pass the mic.
Yes, but we've got to get through it and teach all the people with reckless speculation how to win their bracket. All right, we got Robbie's overall comments. Let's go to you, Raj. I mean, I hate to say it, but this is what Joe Lenardi said all week, and we didn't want to listen to it.
Yeah, it's funny how ESPN seems to know what the committee values and whatnot, and same with CBS. To me, they didn't value the numbers as much this year. Last 10 is not supposed to be officially considered, but there's no doubt that people on the committee do look at that. Tournaments didn't seem to matter at all. We had heard that the regular season would be valued more than the tournament, which is actually the first irrational thing I've heard or seen come out from the NCAAs. But yeah, the numbers weren't valued as much as conferences, road wins, and it seems like losses. Some teams had great wins, but their losses may have been, to worse teams. So that was interesting in terms of conference love. The West Coast gets in 3. Who else? The Pac with only 2, ACC with 5 or 3. Sorry for the Pac. And then who is it that got 4? It's a mid-major. The Mountain West got 4, which is a bit surprising. We talked about
that on Reckless Speculation. That's a solid 4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. You don't want any piece of that. And Colorado State is a dangerous, what were they, a 4 seed? I think, no, 6 seed, right? Higher than SC was. They're a 6 against Michigan. That's that game. So that's a dangerous team.
All right.
And one that Tennessee could face down the line.
I want to get through each one of the brackets real fast, but let's go ahead. Brandon, give me your gut reaction.
I think it's political on the selections. Like, I don't see how you can't just even look at the eye test that has a resume to back it up and, seed accordingly. But, it is what it is. Like I said, it reminds me of the old days of the BCS. They're going to do what they want to do and put these big names and get more people watching and big money. So that's what it is. Not complete injustice on some pathways, though.
All right. I also want to look at where these games are played. Let's move through it real fast. We start out in Portland, Oregon, Gonzaga, Georgia State, Boise, Memphis. Robbie, you've already said you got some heartache there for Memphis. You believe Memphis could be a good matchup for Gonzaga. Anyone else? Boise, Rob, do you like Boise there? Rod, do you like Boise over Memphis?
Oh, I thought you said Rob. Yeah, absolutely. Again, contrasting styles, a very slow, methodical, move the ball type of team, well coached, low turnovers versus Memphis, who's got those dudes that'll run and jump out at the gym, but a lot of young guys can get very sloppy, force the ball. So again, I think the committee, shocker, they want people to see games of that have interest. And this year more than most, it seems like, again, right. Banchero being the 2 in Gonzaga's region with Holmgren, the 1 could go 1 and 2. It's interesting.
All right. In Buffalo, Shane, do you have anything with that Oregon area there? Gonzaga, Georgia State, Boise, Memphis.
No, I like Boise State too over Memphis. I'm not a big fan of Memphis. I know they've been playing a little better as of late, but I think Boise State could match up with Gonzaga pretty well. Give them a little bit of trouble.
All right. In Buffalo, New York, UConn as a 5 seed gets to play in Buffalo, New York, where Arkansas is the 4 seed. UConn, New Mexico State, Arkansas, UVM. When you look at that fact that that UConn is playing in their own back door, that's a huge advantage. That's probably a 4-hour car trip. So UConn as a 5 seed actually gets a favorable seed, in my opinion. There, I like that for UConn. Does anybody not think that's an advantage for UConn, Robbie?
Well, no, of course it's an advantage. In the same way as Houston being a 5 seed and Illinois being a 4 seed, when Houston's way better. Like, this is the worst job I think the committee has done since I've looked at this. Like, you have, if you're Gonzaga and you're looking at Boise, whether it's Boise or Memphis, that's a tough game on the second round, and you're the number 1 seed overall. And yeah, I mean, Arkansas being a 4 seed, I don't think home court matters as much these days in these arenas. But yeah, UConn's definitely having an advantage. And then you got Alabama, like
in San Diego, California, Alabama gets a play-in game. They'll play the winner of Rutgers and Indiana. And across, you've got Texas Tech, and I guess that's Montana State. Alabama gets a play-in game. Seems that 6th team getting a play-in game never made a lot of sense to me. But I really don't like that bracket for Alabama. I really think Texas Tech plays the type of defense that's going to give Alabama a lot of trouble. What do you think, Raj?
I mean, I think Rutgers could be a very dangerous team for Alabama. Again, one of the teams that's almost entirely relies on their jump shooting. They're very athletic as well. I think Rutgers and Texas Tech, again, those are 2 teams that Alabama probably doesn't want to see. 2 good defensive teams, especially Tech.
Alabama does not get out of this region. No way.
No way. And Arkansas having a 4, I mean, I think it's a bigger deal to send them all the way up to New York, to basically where the 5 lives.
Yeah.
In the SEC, they have the best home environments in the country, and teams seem to play the best at home. And I think that matters. I think Arkansas in an empty gym with UConn fans packing that in. I think UConn as the 5 got the much better. They were treated with more respect. And
so let's look at the next one. And I think it's one of the most interesting one. Brendan, we'll let you comment first. In Greenville, South Carolina, you have Duke playing California. I guess that's Fulton, UCF, and
CSUF, Cal State.
Michigan State and Davidson. And I'm telling you, nobody wants to play Davidson. You could perceivably have in Greenville, Davidson versus Duke, home game versus home game. I really like that. I hate the seeding, but I think the committee made a great storyline there.
Yeah, I totally agree. That'd be a huge local matchup there. Michigan State, they're coming on a little bit as of late, but Davison is on fire. I like that pick over Michigan State. And Duke, I don't even want to get started on them. I don't see them making it past the next round if they play Michigan State or Davison.
When I do my bracket, Robbie, this will be my 10 seed that can get out of their region. Does anybody else see it that way?
Mm-hmm.
So
I also like Rutgers a lot too.
I don't think so. I don't think Alabama advances because they're just not playing well right now. Davidson, Michigan State. Tom Izzo's tough to beat in March, but if you're Davidson, if you get past Michigan State, I kind of like them to get past Duke also.
Texas Tech.
These 2 seeds are so over leveraged this year that I think you may see 2 to 3 7-10s advance to the Sweet 16.
Good point.
Don't disagree.
Raj, Baylor in Fort Worth, Texas. Nobody gets closer than Baylor playing in their own hometown against somebody. And then UNC and Marquette. I think two teams going in a bad direction, especially. Well, North Carolina did beat Duke, but do you see anything there could stop Baylor?
Well, I think their loss of JTT, that dude, was tough to overcome. They've obviously done well. Akinjo, the transfer from Arizona. Boy, yeah, Waco to Dallas isn't that far. They got a nice draw. North Carolina, you never know. Against Duke, last home game, Coach K, they have talent. They look like a top 10 team, and then they come out in the tournament and lay an egg. So that could be a very interesting matchup. I think North Carolina will get past Baylor. UCLA, again, a straight jump, 4 guys that can really shoot against St. Mary's. I mean, that's I think St. Mary's moves on.
That's the next bracket, correct?
Yeah.
Hold up on that
sorry.
one. Hold up on that one.
Well,
Robbie, Baylor. Do you see anybody that can touch Baylor in that one?
yeah, I like UCLA out of that region.
But that's I'm talking about their 4-team bracket there.
Oh no. I mean UNC.
I don't think you can hear me.
No. I think Baylor goes to Sweet 16 pretty easily.
All right, let's get Raj back in. Raj, are you there with us? Raj somehow got knocked out. We're having more signal trouble than normal tonight. Raj, we'll go back to Raj, but I do want to talk about that. The next bracket looks. What do y'all think? He was talking about UCLA. I've lost my bracket temporarily. Go ahead and read that next bracket, Robbie. You were already talking about it.
Yeah, so it's St. Mary's, a playing game, then UCLA and Akron. I think UCLA runs through that without many problems. Shane, what do you think?
I agree. Indiana could potentially face them, but St. Mary's they're on fire right now, so I don't see them having any problem. UCLA.
All right, Rod.
UCLA.
UCLA discussion there. I'm sorry, Brandon. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Rod, I hated to cut you off earlier, but now let's talk about UCLA in that bracket.
I think they have a nice road. I think their toughest game would be against St. Mary's. In terms of the bottom half, I'm just looking. We're going to go through it, but Texas, Va-Tech, Purdue, and Yale. So if it were by seeding, UCLA the 4 would face Purdue the 3. I know Purdue's huge, but when they don't play well, they don't play well. I really like UCLA's path this year. People forget, though, last year they were in the play-in game as an 11 against Michigan State. They had to go to overtime to win that game, and they were not favored to win that game. And then they just ran through. But this is a much better draw than they had last year. Well, that's tough. But, yes, I think it's so funny how in the particular area, the regions of brackets where games are played, it's clear who has the committee valued more than other teams. I don't – Purdue being the 3 ahead of UCLA, I think UCLA has got a much better path. Not just numbers.
Hey,
Go ahead.
So just food for thought, and this is somebody else's idea, but between A&M getting cut out and Tennessee being the 3 seed, the Wes Rucker saying that Greg Sankey should make some angry phone calls, obviously, and also move the SEC championship game to Saturday instead of Sunday, because it's clear that these seeds were already written in stone before the games today. What do you guys think about that?
I think the seeds were wrote in stone. I think that's clearly, and you even heard them talking about the 1 seeds were probably decided last night. And
yeah,
and I think that's a shame. I'm not trying to be. I think you're on the money, and I was going to bring that up here in a minute. But I think you're 100% right that the committee comes out. So the American Conference ended, and 30 minutes later, the bracket's out. obviously there was a bunch of work done pre-hand. So I tend to agree with you.
That's the whole key. They don't want to have to go back and rework each region and brackets and try and schedule matchups accordingly. So it's definitely done beforehand, and that's why, what's the guy that made the dumb comment earlier today that already said Tennessee was going to be a 3 seed? Just
all right.
Crazy.
Let's
they valued.
Anybody got anything else, Robbie?
Well, the next level is anger and NCAA. This is your cash cow. This tournament is. Be careful because they can take their ball and go away.
I'm sure that'll be discussed on Reckless Speculation this week.
I think ahead of time, the committee knew what they were valuing, and they grouped teams accordingly. Again, the Big 12 was valued very highly, whereas the SEC was not. I agree with Rob. You should move that back to a Saturday. I used to call the Pac-12 stupid for that, but they're not going to change an entire bracket with 30 minutes, to spare. A lot of this is proving evidence of their reasoning and whatnot for when they are questioned.
Would you have had any heartache if they had Auburn on the 2 line, Tennessee on the 3 line? Tennessee wins. They move Tennessee into the 2 line, and Auburn goes to the 3 line.
No,
very simple.
Not at all. But
I think
my problem is
I think Tennessee's path is better as a 3.
Let's get through it real fast.
They're just numbers.
In Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Texas, Vermont, Purdue, Yale. Texas, Purdue. That seems like a pretty big game there. I kind of like Texas in that game.
What about Va Tech getting past Texas?
That's what I was about to say. I wouldn't count out Virginia Tech at all.
Texas never quite came together. They got a lot of transfers. Beard was there. They never came together. I didn't hear all the
brackets earlier. I thought that was Vermont. Va Tech, Texas. Yeah, I do like Va Tech.
Are you handwriting these things?
Me? I did, yeah. But I didn't write locations. But yeah, Texas is just loaded with talent, but they never came together. They got Marcus Carr from BC last year, who led the nation in scoring. Chris Beard came over with a few dudes, but they have not put it all together. They had no business beating Tennessee. That was just a road thing, I think. Vescovi was awful that game.
Yeah,
but
and a missed shot by Josiah Jordan James at the end, wide open.
Yeah, that guy, that shot would go down today. I think we all know that. But yeah, I mean, Purdue, I think, is getting a pretty nice draw overall.
So, Robbie, does your heart? I mean, you were very vocal about Kentucky getting a 2. To me, Kentucky with a 2 in Indianapolis also gets Murray State. Are the committee setting up Murray State, Kentucky in round 2? That's going to be a huge TV ratings game. Very local interest game. Guaranteed sellout. I like Murray State to beat Kentucky.
Are you kidding me? TV ratings? It's the NCAA tournament. There's no draw.
Other consideration.
Yeah, it gets ratings because it's the NCAA tournament. No, what they're doing, no. They don't. Obviously, they haven't thought about anything, but Purdue is going to win this whole bracket, and because Purdue is going to beat Virginia Tech, and they're going to come down and beat Kentucky, and they're going to be in the Final Four against who else? Well, who's the 1 seed? Baylor. They're better than Baylor too. This is Purdue's bracket. This is a horribly seeded tournament, but you know what? It's going to be great. It's always great, and I can sit here and complain, but we're all going to enjoy it. We're all going to have fun. It's all going to be awesome, and we're going to say it's the best sporting event ever.
I don't think Purdue.
I could see Murray State. I could see Murray State winning this region. I really could.
I really think Murray State's the best team in that region.
No, Purdue. You guys have not watched Purdue. Purdue is really, really good.
I've watched it. It would be contrasting styles, but Murray State with KJ Williams, that guy's a monster. They'd have him against Travion Williams. They know what they're doing. Is my point. but yeah.
So does anyone have Baylor
I
winning
like
this?
Murray State.
Does anyone have Baylor winning this region? I don't.
I
have
don't either.
the team in the bottom half of the bracket winning the region. Whoever gets out of that bottom half,
Kentucky
I
or
like to
Purdue.
win this bracket.
I mean,
All right,
UCLA, St. Mary's, just deadly teams, man.
Let's go out to San Diego, California, where Arizona gets the winner of a play-in game. You've got Seton Hall and TCU. Well, to me, there's not a lot going on other than if TCU can get to the Sweet 16 and get by Arizona, they would play in San Antonio. Brendan, do you see anything? You love the Wildcats. Do you see anything that scares you out there?
I don't love the Wildcats, but
I do.
I do. Well, yeah, I do love the Wildcats. Actually, they're probably my my winning team. But no, I think they're going to lose. TCU is going to lose to Zona. I'm anxious to see this Chattanooga Illinois game. I know Illinois is pretty good, but watch out. That could be one of these teams that provides an upset here early. So I'm anxious to see that
Matchups.
one.
D'Souza versus Cockburn. They know exactly what they're doing. That's a crazy 13-4. It's two teams that play very similarly. And like I said, D'Souza a 5-star, Cockburn a 5-star. Who doesn't want to see that? And
all right, let's go ahead and jump ahead then. We'll assume that Arizona is out of there. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Houston, who I don't know how Palm rates him Houston as high as they do. UAB, Illinois, UTC. I think Illinois, UTC could be an interesting game. And I think that bracket, if you do get by Illinois, is wide open for the Monks. I mean, it's one of those I don't have a lot of I will not be surprised if either the 12 or 13 seed wins the opening game. Anybody else got any love for UAB or UTC?
yeah,
I like UTC.
I presume out of all the regions, if someone were going to say the 12 and 13 seeds, if they were to advance, I would definitely say the South. The higher seeds were done no favors. And interesting that USF got in, but as the overall seed is number 37. But Murray State 30-2. One of the losses was to Auburn. The other one was a bad loss early to ETSU. Tons of talent, balanced team. So typical stuff. Kentucky has a 2, but they'd have to run into a deadly team. UCLA, St. Mary's. After that, it looks pretty clear. Chattanooga. They've got a lot of talented players on that team. There's a couple of guys that will probably play in the NBA, in Malachi Smith and D'Souza, and then guys like DJB that can play internationally overseas. They haven't had that many guys that have a career of basketball in store for them in a long time. And, yeah, they're a very dangerous 13 seed. And I'd rather play Illinois than Houston. Well, maybe not.
All right, let's slip over to
they can win.
Indianapolis. Colorado State, who I think is a dangerous team. Michigan, Tennessee, and Longwood. Anybody picking anybody other than the Vols out of that region?
No.
I don't know, man. Colorado State is a deadly team. David Roddy is one of the best players some people have never heard of. I'd say a top 5 player in the country. They're a talented team, again, with a guy who's a very big guy and uses his body well. We all know Tennessee's got a lot of length, but that could be a very tough matchup.
I think Colorado State
matchup.
would struggle greatly with Kennedy Chandler and Ziegler. Speed out front, I don't know that Colorado State can match them.
You guys have 3 point guards that are all awesome.
All right, Robbie or James.
We'll
defense too.
James, even though it's a 3 seed, do you like Tennessee's draw?
I do. I don't think they have. A tough road are as tough as some of the other ones anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
They'll see Ohio State, and Ohio State may very well lose to, number 10 here. So
I can't read my
Tennessee's
writing.
looking good.
Who's the 10 against Ohio State? I can't read my writing on
Loyola.
Chicago. Chicago. Ooh.
Yeah. And Ohio State has not been playing well, so they could very well lose that game easily.
And so this is what I don't. This is what I don't like about the committee. So Sweet 16 possibility is going to be Tennessee and Nova. They've already played, so they're playing again. Then the Elite Eight would be Tennessee and Arizona. They've already played again. So, like, I know they don't try to do that and not try to do that, but it's just a bad pairing of everything. But it is what it is. I think Tennessee marches the Sweet 16 without a problem. And then we'll get Villanova, and then we'll see how it goes from there.
I like this comment from Aaron Burt. Mountain West has 5 teams. They went
last time they went there.
They valued that top of the Mountain West. If you look at a team like Wyoming, who got in at last 4, they don't have a ton of wins outside. They did beat Colorado State, and I think they beat Boise one time, but nothing out of conference. And it's clear that conference was valued more, relatively speaking, than a conference like the SEC, not just based on numbers. But
all right,
yeah,
let's get through the Midwest, and then we'll come back and do some Sweet 16 predictions. KU gets a play-in game against San Diego State Creighton. I think that San Diego State winner, Creighton winner, is a dangerous team.
Very.
Also, below that, Iowa, Richmond, Providence, San Diego State. Kind of a West Coast flair there. Roger, we'll start with you.
Richmond stole a bid. They were not getting in outside of basically what happened today. The fact that beating Davidson, they get a 12 and not even a play-in is wow. And then the Big Ten champion, who we've talked about valuing conferences. So Iowa is the 5, but they get a team that wasn't in the tournament at all, not even close until today. So again, even though they're the 5, they have a better road than Providence, the 4, who has to face a dangerous South Dakota State team. Wisconsin, the 3, they have a pretty nice draw. But Iowa, that looks really nice for Iowa in that region. But yeah, the State Creighton game is insane. Again, the best overall player in this is Obagi on Kansas. He is a superstar, and he can put that team on his back, whereas we don't see that as much with the other teams. Where is the USC game?
Buffalo again. A little bit of home field advantage there.
That's absolutely right. Maybe they finally gave love to Providence, because Ken Palm sure as heck didn't.
I think USC beats Auburn in round 2.
Yeah,
got to get past a tough team, but
that Miami draw is tough. Yeah.
Where
we'll be
where
there
is that game being played? I can't find where that game's being played.
Anybody got anybody besides Kansas out to the Sweet 16? All right. Bottom of the bracket: LSU, Iowa State, Wisconsin, Colgate, in Milwaukee. LSU with an interim head coach. Wisconsin, that seems like kind of a cakewalk to Wisconsin, unless I'm missing something.
I think Wisconsin rolls there.
How healthy is Davis, though? He had a tweak issue. I guess it was the last game of the year. They weren't that great in the tournament, so we'll see. That's
apparently
Iowa
that
State
doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Iowa State at one point was like 3-11 or 3-14 inside the Big 12. So for them to get that kind of a draw, that no love for LSU. Obviously a talented team, but overall, yeah, Wisconsin probably has the easiest road to the Sweet 16 of any 3 seed, in my opinion.
All right. Everybody want to discuss it, Robbie. USC, Miami, Auburn, Jacksonville State. You think that's custom made for USC, huh?
If USC can beat so I don't think Auburn gets past the second round. So I think USC or Miami beats Auburn. But I think USC, their talent alone, Andy Enfield, whatever his name has been here before. I like Southern Cal to advance and then beat Auburn and go to the Sweet 16.
Roger, I'm sure you would feel good about getting to the Sweet 16.
I would take it. I don't know. Auburn scares me with Kessler and presuming you get past Miami, of course, with Kessler and Jabari Smith, and they are talented. So I'm curious as to, Rob, why you like that USC match, just because USC we know has a lot of talent and they're very long as well. Is there something about Auburn you don't like?
Well, I mean, they shoot a lot of threes when they don't have to. Like, they have Jabari Smith, number 1 draft pick and probably in the league next year, and Cody Kessler, who's going to get a lot of the ball. But they don't. They just sit around and shoot the ball. Like, they're just not a very disciplined coach team. They have talent, which talent wins a lot of games and wins a lot of home games. But on the road or on neutral sites this year, look at the record. They're not very good, and this is what it's going to be.
And somebody again, please tell me where the USC game is, because I'll probably
Greenville, South Carolina, 6 hours from here.
That's it. We got Greenville.
Yeah.
You can drive there, man.
Yeah, dude. I'm going to Greenville.
I'll
Hey,
be in
look,
Cherokee if you guys want to go.
All right. Real fast.
probably joining
Last
you up to
subject of the
lose.
night. Each region we're going to look at real fast. Just give me your gut reaction to your Sweet 16 in each of the regions. Let's take a second and start out west. I will go first. I think my Sweet 16 will be Gonzaga against Connecticut, and then Texas Tech versus Davidson.
I will go Memphis, Arkansas, Texas Tech, and Duke.
Raj Meta.
So Rob is telling us that he thinks the number 1 seed is not going to get past the second round.
That's what he just said.
Yep.
Wow. I just wanted to make sure.
That's a terrible draw for Gonzaga.
It is a horrible draw. Actually, can Chain go first? Because I'm trying to still get all my teams in order.
I got it.
Dang.
I like Gonzaga, UConn, Texas Tech, and Davidson.
Good God, Chain's gonna be broke by the end of this tournament.
I think we're both going to be there. I think we pretty much are on it there. All right, Raj, you gotta go now.
Okay. I like Gonzaga coming out of that top. UConn out of the one below that over Arkansas. Again, playing at home. That's a tough team. In the bottom half, I think Rutgers gets past Bama. I really do. Texas Tech is a tough team. Their one downfall is they can't shoot, but sometimes they're so big and lay so many picks across the board. They don't have to. They're all like 3 feet away. And then the bottom half would be Davidson or Duke. That's a tough call. And I'd have to look at that matchup more, but that's not a good matchup for Duke. There's no doubt about that. I would take Duke, but I wouldn't feel great about it.
All right, in the East, I'll give you Baylor, UCLA, Virginia Tech, and Murray State. Who wants to go next? Robbie Davis.
I'll go Baylor, UCLA, Purdue, and Kentucky.
All right, Brandon Chang.
Give me 1 second here. Trying to pull it up. Go ahead, Raj. My screen's freezing up right here.
Raj Mehta.
I'm going to go Baylor. The second one is tough. St. Mary's, Tommy Kuzi, great point guard. Tiger Campbell, great point guard. Two teams that can really shoot. Oh, I'm shocked I'm saying this, but I'm taking St. Mary's over UCLA to get to the Sweet 16. Of course, by the time we do our actual brackets, I'll do the opposite of everything we're just talking
I'm
about.
gonna do the opposite of everything I said, and not a problem.
In the bottom half, Vatek Purdue, I think would be a hell of a game, but I'm going to go Purdue, but I don't like it. In the bottom, again, Murray State, San Fran. I'm Murray State all day. UK would get past that. I would take Murray State over Kentucky in that bottom one. And am I missing one, or is that all of them?
Yeah,
That's
did you pick Virginia Tech, Purdue? Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
in the South, I'm going to go Arizona, Illinois, Tennessee, Villanova. I think that one stays intact. That's the one I could see being 1, 2, 3, and 4 out to the Sweet 16. Robbie Davis, you thinking long.
Yeah, no, Arizona. I got Illinois. No, so I'm sorry, Arizona, Houston, Tennessee, and Nova. I agree with you though. I think this is the chalk region.
Brendan, did you get unfreezed? We'll get your
Yeah, I'm good.
Go ahead.
I like Arizona, Chattanooga,
Yes.
Whoa.
Tennessee, and Villanova.
Oh boy.
Do you want to go back and get your East picks?
Yeah, East picks Baylor, UCLA, Vatek, and Kentucky.
Okay. Raj Mehta.
Arizona, that second one is very tough for me. I'm going to go with Illinois. I don't like the way they shoot the ball, though. Actually, I'm going with Houston. Scratch that. Houston's been there. They tough, big-time leader. Bottom half, you guys aren't going to like it, but I'm going Colorado State and Villanova.
Okay. In the Midwest.
Free money.
We'll see. The Midwest, Kansas is the one? Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. I am going Kansas. The next one's tough for me. I'm going Providence just because the game's in New York. Wisconsin and Auburn. And I feel dirty picking Auburn there. I really want to pick SC, but trying to be different. Robbie Davis.
This bracket is the dirtiest bracket. I got Kansas and I got Richmond. I think Richmond advances, and then Wisconsin, and I take SC.
Jane.
I like Kansas. I was on a heater right now. I don't see why they would cool off anytime soon. I'm going to stay with Iowa.
This break's gonna cost them though.
What's that? Oh
This
yeah,
break.
well yeah, break. I still like Iowa. They're shooting well. They're playing D well. They're causing turnovers. We just saw them against Purdue.
Lanier likes their uniforms.
They played well.
You're as stupid as he is.
He's addicted to their uniforms, yes.
I'm not an Iowa fan, trust me, but I'm picking them here. And then I'd have to say probably Wisconsin. And I actually like Miami coming out of the bottom there.
Raj, don't let your Trojan glasses cover your eyes.
I will not. Last year, I loved their bracket. I'm a big fan also of the best player. Who can you really ride? And I thought we were going to get all the way to where we were, and I thought we'd give Gonzaga a better game. But we don't have a unicorn this year, and the target is on our backs versus last year where nobody expected us to be in the Elite Eight. I kind of agree with Shane in that the winner of the SC Miami game will come out of this region. But if you're going to take Auburn could kick the crap out of everybody and be the 16. I'm going to go with USC, but admittedly, that's not something I'm super positive about. Also have better experience than any of those teams, but them drawing Miami and USC being a 7 seed, projected 6, even a 5 in some places, getting Miami, the committee saying, you got to prove it, bro, because one of these hottest teams in the country, and that's a tough matchup. The other ones follow pretty soon. I didn't have tons of trouble, in my opinion. Kansas, Avaji, deep and healthy. Last year they faced USC in the round of 32, and they were the 3 seed, and they lost by 31 to USC. But this year they're healthy. Iowa, I think Iowa, again, the best player after Obaji is Keegan Murray. He's a top 5-10 pick. He's amazing. Bohannon can shoot. They're just a very well-balanced team. So I think Iowa, and I don't think Iowa has that much trouble, despite the games being in Buffalo. So I'm going to go with USC, but I don't know. That's just my glasses. Wisconsin, Iowa, and Kansas.
All right, guys. Last question. We'll finish it up. We've actually done well on time. Give me one storyline from the tournament, and I'll go first. I think the winner of the South wins the national championship. I think they've put 2 of the hottest teams and 3 of the teams that look like national championship teams in that bracket. I think Villanova, Tennessee, Arizona. I think that's a strong 1, 2, 3. So give me the winner of the South versus the winner of the West in the final game. Robbie Davis?
Yeah, my storyline is going to be no number ones advance to the Final Four, and Memphis beats Gonzaga in round 2.
God, I hope you're right. That's the only time I'll root for.
None of these 1 seeds were that great. Like, they're not going to make it.
And the shame of it is I think Arizona may be the team that I look at that feels like a true number 1 seed.
I agree.
They play like it. They are
We've
really talented.
We've already
starting
beat them.
5.
You beat them at home.
Home 3 months ago.
That's tough.
It would be a different game now, and that's what the tournament is at neutral sites. Arizona's starting 5 is legit, man. They are so talented and athletic. 2 of the tallest teams in the country. I don't think they would have any trouble with Tennessee, personally, especially if Kriisa comes back. If Kriisa comes back, then I'm taking Arizona all day because, like I said, Mathurin and Tubelis first. Those are top 15 picks. Mathurin will be in the top 10. Koloko, he learned how to play basketball. Balo, those are 2 7-footers that can play. And then they've got wings, and they're really talented. Pele Larson, the 6th man of the year in the conference, came from Utah. It was their best player. Justin Keir from Georgia, who's just an amazing player. Again, with Kriisa, they go 8 deep, and if Kriisa was there, I'd take them to win the championship. But right now, I don't see them having any trouble getting out of the region, although I do think it'll be 1 and 2 in this region, Arizona and Nova in the Elite Eight. Sorry, guys. I know that you don't like any of that.
To interrupt you, everyone. Tom Brady just unretired.
No way.
Really? Is he back with Tampa?
Yes.
Wow.
So that lasted 3 weeks?
Wow.
Go ahead with your little storylines.
No, I was just going to agree with you. I said this before we even started. My 2 favorite teams in the tournament are Arizona and Tennessee. So it's going to come down to those two, and then I like whoever wins that game to go on in the championship.
All
I
right,
can't
guys.
believe in the same bracket.
I know it sucks, but
Yeah.
I hate.
I wanted
Arizona
to see them
Tennessee.
like in the championship game, like. But those
Here's
are my
my
two
storyline
favorites.
from the Tennessee as a Tennessee fan. We beat Villanova, who we lost to earlier in the year, and
We did
lose to
not
Arizona,
beat
who we beat
Villanova.
earlier in the year.
We did not.
You didn't beat Villanova,
Mm-mm.
right?
Did you hear me say we beat Villanova? I said
We-
we beat Villanova this time, a team that we
Oh.
lost to earlier in the year,
Oh, okay.
and we
Oh.
lose to Arizona, the team we beat earlier in the year. I know I'm
I could see
Southern.
that.
I know I got a draw. I know I'm still hyped up on coffee and a SEC championship, but I do remember Villanova beating the crap out of us. Beat the crap out of us.
Yep.
Yeah. Different team back then without, your three guards really running the show now. And
Yeah,
all
I
three
mean-
playing well. And now you have Jordan James, who's unconscious. The
That
more I
is-
think about Tennessee, I could see them. I mean, there's no doubt they have the talent and coaching and ability to win this region. And that would be a big FU to the committee, who obviously didn't value at all the SEC. It didn't matter that,
No,
like Rob
yeah.
said, Tennessee beat Kentucky 2 out of 3. They beat them up the other day. I didn't think Kentucky was even close based on the shots they were getting. Tennessee just moving the ball, getting much better shots. They were the clear better team, in my opinion. But coming into this SEC tournament, Kentucky was a 2, Tennessee was a 3. And that's what happened. A&M goes all the way to the finals, beating Auburn. And not only are they out, they're considered the 4th option out behind Dayton, SMU, and Xavier, who Xavier did not finish well. That I have no idea how they ended up there.
Auburn being a 2 is a complete joke to me. Like they lost their first game of the tournament.
It's because they were ranked number 1 during the season at some point. So they look at that, and again, this is all predetermined. Yeah, it's all predetermined. Like
We want to see the
there's
lottery
very little that the conference championships has to do with the seeding. Obviously, they made that clear.
Well, to Raj's point, real quick, I agree with him. Tennessee can put a lineup on the court that few people can contend with. You have Zeke, you have Chandler, you have Vescovi, Josiah Jordan,
JJJ,
whoever's the fifth player they interchange. That's a tough lineup to guard, and that will dictate the other team's lineup, who they have to put on the field. And so, in that way, hey, March is March. It's crazy, but as far as a Tennessee fan, this is the first time I've legit felt like it could happen. It may or may not, but it could.
There's a few teams and a few players that you can look at a team and say, as this player goes in the tournament, maybe the team goes. It's not necessarily maybe the best player on the team, but I do feel like you know what you're getting out of Kennedy. You know what you're getting out of Ziegler. You kind of know what you're getting out of the guys underneath. What Tennessee has to have is Josiah Jordan James continue to score and continue to shoot threes. And you almost feel like as well as he plays in the tournament is as far as Tennessee goes. If he plays above or to the level he did in the SEC tournament, I like our chances. He also has a tendency to disappear at the times. So I think a lot depends on Josiah Jordan James as far as the Vols go.
I think a lot depends on your defense too, though. I mean, your defense is playing lights out right now. And I mean, they shut down a Kentucky team that, statistically should win or beat them or whatever is a better team. Their defense is lights out. When they're playing lights out and their guards are playing the way they are and they're shooting the ball, man, they're tough.
All right, guys, last word.
Let me say quickly on Tennessee, when it comes down to the last minute of the game, do you feel confident when the press is on and traps? We see it, especially in college in the tournament, turnovers that never happen left and right and give the other team a chance.
Sure.
Tennessee, with those 3 point guards, any press that they face, they're probably the number 1 team in the country that can break press. And all 3 of those guys shoot free throws well. Those are big factors. I mean, what's your team going to look like with under a minute left? USC, for example, has a combo guard at point, a backup Ethan Anderson, 3rd year he's just doesn't play anymore. Used to be very good, but they have a huge ball handling and passing concern with their turnovers. Where Tennessee has the best 3 guards to handle this in the country,
and the speed. I mean, they're quick.
And that's, yeah, absolutely. And they can shoot free throws. But again, when you're trapped, pressed, and double and triple teamed, how is your team going to respond late when everything's crazy? And Tennessee has probably the best, not in the region, but in the country, to be a team in that situation to hold off the other school. Because that's when it's all chaos hits and total chaos.
You're
and
right.
That's when you need your guards.
Yeah. All right.
Guard play.
Final words, and I will go first with my final words. We are playing with house money at this point.
No, we're not.
The Vols winning the SEC championship feels like a 9,000-pound gorilla off of that program's back. So I also will say my final word of the night. I think the winner of Tennessee, Arizona, if they both get there, as I suspect, has a very good chance to win a national championship.
Yep.
Brendan Chain.
My final words, man, what a fun weekend it's been already just for the championship games. March started early with UTC and that buzzer beater. And I'm just so anxious to see the rest of this tournament play out. I'll be on vacation, spring break with my family, but I will be watching.
Looks like I'm going to Greenville, boys. That's
Hey, I'll be in Myrtle Beach, so I'm not too far away.
sweet.
But no, I'm excited, man. It's already started. The hype's there, and obviously the committee doesn't value conference championships as much as they should.
Randall does.
But Randall does. But you know,
Yes.
Rob, we also said it too. You know, it's nice to win a conference championship, but what really matters is the big tournament. So, unfortunately, it affected the seeding of that. I agree. I think Tennessee had a very good, strong argument to be a number 1. Should have been on the number 2 line, no doubt. But they still got a decent road. I hate the Arizona matchup. But yeah, I agree. The winner of that game potentially could win the whole thing.
All right, Raj, I'm headed to Greenville. Greenville or bust. Meta.
Well, Auburn is the 2 seed there, and that's about the same distance to Greenville as Chattanooga. However, Chattanooga, despite me, doesn't have a huge Trojan club to make the journey. So Auburn's got it pretty nice there. Are we doing overall thoughts or just each region again?
Whatever you want to do, man. It's your time.
I mean, I think I can't stress this enough. The committee valued conferences and road wins and conference regular seasons, and the strength of the conference in these seeding discrepancies. And it's clear to me the SEC got the least amount of respect, which is interesting. Respect deserved, meaning in terms of what I thought it would be. I love superstars. That's what the tournament is, from Zerbiak to Ed Pinckney back in the day, just Carmelo, dudes that you can put them on your back and they will lead you. And Iowa's got one. Kansas has got one. Wisconsin has got one. The problem down there with me, and USC doesn't like Auburn does. But that's just looking at the Midwest. That was another storyline to me where was crazy talent and what they want these matchups to see. Gonzaga is in the same where Duke is the 2. I mean, they have 2 of the probably top 3 picks in the country are in that game right there. I don't think with Texas Tech, Duke, Arkansas was one of the best defensive teams in the country. Boise State is going to be tough. If Gonzaga's the number 1 overall seed, they sure as hell didn't get the number 1 overall bracket or the seed that would go to the number 1 overall. I mean, I think that's really tough. St. Mary's UCLA game and that's getting the round of 32 is going to be fascinating to me. Both of those teams can come out of that region, in my opinion. And actually, I think the winner of that game does come out of that region. Looking at the other brackets, again, more storylines. We talked about the Midwest and this talent. Talked about Gonzaga. Talked about St. Mary's and Baylor. Again, more superstars. 2 amazing pure points in Tommy Kuzi at St. Mary's and Tiger Campbell of UCLA. Jaquez Jr., though, that's an answer St. Mary's doesn't have. The final region that I was looking at, and where the heck did I put it? It's the South. Damn it. Oh, here it is. I love
There's
Arizona.
a thing
and
called
again,
the internet that actually puts that.
Well, I like to write it down. Like, I couldn't find a filled out bracket yet. I just saw the
couldn't
bracket,
either.
and I wrote it down. So Arizona is so talented, man. But I think with Tennessee could come out of there, and Villanova could come out of there. And again, the 6, Colorado State, that's not going to be a cakewalk. They're the number 2 overall, but, you know, they could lose to especially tough defensive teams, which there are 3 of them that I just named after Arizona.
It's a tough bracket.
It's a very tough bracket.
That whole region is
that's
tough.
the toughest bracket, yes.
I think
You
so.
got Ohio
for sure.
State, Liddell, like a big thumper. Loyola Chicago's very gritty and physical. Nova's physical. Philly kids. Even Longwood. I watched Longwood's game. Now, obviously, they pale in comparison to Tennessee, but they had some big, wide shoulder banger dudes that, you know, that they were pretty talented actually, and a lot of seniors. Tennessee's obviously better, but I was surprised. Again, David Roddy, another huge guy. As I mentioned, D'Souza versus Cockburn. Fascinating matchup. Not very often as a 4 you get a 13 with players like that. So a lot of player matchups, a lot of valuing conferences and road losses. And the numbers didn't indicate. We're not consistent to me. Like I said, Tennessee's a 3, but I think they have a much easier path than the 2. You know, Gonzaga being the 1 overall, having a super tough route, in my opinion. 2 Big 12 teams being number 1, which we all thought would be tough to do. So there are plenty of storylines here, and per usual, I'll be very excited. And last year I got free tickets to every USC game. It was a long story, and it was awesome. This year I have to pay for it, so I'm going to get online and start looking for hotels in Greenville. So that's another storyline for me. I love the tournament going live, and that will not be far. And my boss is on vacation next week, so sweet.
Thank you, Mr. Meta. Robbie, superstar, Davis headed to New Orleans to watch the Vols be crowned national champions.
Well, I'm going to Cherokee first to get money to fund my New Orleans vacation.
Foolproof plan.
So this is one of those years. Look, it's the greatest time of year. Look, it's March Madness. Everything can happen. I'm looking at this bracket though, I'm going to ask some rhetorical questions. You're telling me the 2 and the 3 seeds, Texas Tech isn't better than Duke? Tennessee isn't better than Nova? Wisconsin isn't better than Auburn? And Purdue isn't better than Kentucky? This is upset city waiting to happen, guys. These seeds don't match up. Purdue's one of the best teams in the country at a 3 seed. Yeah, It's going to happen. So my takeaways are, I don't think a 1 seed gets to the Final Four, and
How about a 10 or higher?
Maybe this is the year Tennessee breaks
Here
through.
it comes. Here it comes.
Man,
Free
I've
money.
been so happy that I won the SEC tournament, and just the Final Four would be tremendous. Because I promise you, I don't care what it costs. I'll get some of that chain money and get some New Orleans tickets.
Would we like another breaking story?
Yeah, let's go.
Mike White to be named the new head coach of the University of Georgia.
Mike White from Florida?
Yes.
The current Florida coach?
Yes.
Whoa.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Kind of throws me for a little bit of a loop there.
Okay.
He's in Florida for Georgia?
Yeah.
And it's not in football? Are you sure?
I'm going to read you the press. Georgia hires Mike White, poaches the men's basketball coach from an SEC rival 1 minute ago.
Wow.
So, well, guys, and thank AJ Cook for sending me that. I want to thank AJ. I want to thank Roy. I want to remind everybody that we will be on our normal time, our normal hour this week, and I'm sure we'll have more tournament talk. I'm sure we'll have more Brady talk.
I can't believe all this. Brady's coming back, and Mike White left Florida to go to Georgia.
Yes.
Hey, before we go, can we each give 1 seed? UCLA was an 11 last year. They went to the championship game. Or a buzzer beater lost to Gonzaga. Does anybody have an 11 or higher that you could see being in the Final Four?
Virginia Tech.
We're not holding you to it. Virginia Tech. Yeah, dangerous higher seeds. I could definitely see that. Rob, Randall,
Man,
any high seeds?
It's not higher than 12. I like USC, man. I really like USC's draw, but if I have to pick 11 seed or above, I like Virginia Tech also.
A lot of times teams that barely get in, that feel disrespected, they just take off on a run. So Michigan could be a dangerous team, You never know. So you never know. IU is a 12 seed in a play-in game. They just show they can play with anybody. Yeah, that's a dangerous team.
So
Murray State's the 7. Ooh.
I like
overall
something along those lines, and then we got to wrap this up. You said the conference. This was about superstars. To me, the best player in the country is Jabari Smith, and Auburn has Walker Kessler. Auburn will go exactly as far as their guard play takes them. And if their guard play can play to an elite level, I think Auburn would be a very dangerous team. Their guard play the last month they have 2 guards that transferred up from mid-majors, and they've looked like mid-majors. So Auburn, you give me the right guard play from Auburn. I love Walker Kessler and Jabari Smith.
South Dakota State in the Midwest. That's a tough 13. And, I was looking at that one hard.
UTC beats Illinois. Brandon then called it.
And UTC, that's the tough one.
I like UTC.
Illinois.
I like the Rutgers too a lot. Watch out for them.
Randall, with all
They're
due
a tough
respect,
team.
big men don't win NCAA tournament games. You want the most talented freshman in the country. He wears
Chandler.
number 1 in orange. Yeah, Kenny Chandler's amazing.
Well, I'm going to disagree with both of you because when the NBA calls the name, I think Jabari Smith will be 1.
Chandler can he can get down and lay up quicker than anyone I've seen in a long time.
That's
He may
orange and
be-
white glasses, bro.
He may be the most improved.
It's not
player
going to be
in
a
the
top
country.
5 pick.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's relevant.
We just talked about
basketball.
superstars. I'm talking
Smith
about
Smith is a
like
better
Holmgren.
player, right? As of
Yeah.
Smith.
What was that UNLV player that went number 1 overall? What was his name?
That was a horrible.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Russell.
The draft pick is irrelevant to what college basketball players are.
Well, I remember when LeBron
well,
James
the argument was
number one,
talented.
and, you know, I'm just saying, I like Jabari Smith better than Kennedy Chandler. I think Kennedy Chandler is the third best freshman in the country, but I would put Jabari Smith and Pablo
Holmgren.
Banchero or whatever his name is ahead of him.
Dude,
but
the kid at
as I
Gonzaga,
Hey,
Holmgren is
hey!
very
you
good.
you are right
Yeah.
there with Turner Sports because they put them ahead of them too. It's
Oh,
a
wow.
TV show, right?
Yeah, I just realized how much I look like Santa Claus too, sitting here. So
Dude,
anyway, I'm
Holmgren.
gonna go eat spaghetti. Thanks, AJ Cook. Thanks, Roy Pankey, for joining us. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow night on RiverCity-Media. We have a special show. Clayton Powell Lee, a 3-star signee with Georgia Tech, a kid I've sat next to at Falcons games for years.
Wait, we're not on there tomorrow. Right?
No, you're not.
Okay.
This is off the record with Randall. It's just nice to have a kid that I have a connection to, and we'll talk about his recruiting process.
Cool.
And then we'll
We'll
be
be back on Wednesday, right?
with off the
Wednesday.
record.
When do they announce the full schedule, like times and everything? Who plays Thursday? Who plays Friday?
I think they've already done that. Well, it was tonight.
Hey, we'll
I
be
thought
on
so
the
as
air
well, but I
during the
can't
play-in
find it
games,
yet.
by the way. So
All right.
that'd be
I'll
fun.
be in Cherokee Thursday morning. I think the Vols play on Thursday, so I'm going to go up Thursday. Anyone wants to join me? Happy to oblige.
We
just-
play Friday. I'll stop by on Thursday if we
I
play
can
Friday.
teach you my roulette system. It's undefeated.
I
Wouldn't
just
do work.
saw what time the Vols play at.
Where the hell is the schedule?
The Vols play at oh, well, they didn't post the time. Never mind.
All right. Well, I got to go.
I want the
All right.
times.
All right. See you
Good night.
guys.
God bless. Go
It was
Vols.
fun.
Adios. I'll be in better
The Vols
shape
should be a 1
on
seed.
Wednesday.
F you, committee.